This is session 5 of the Next Level Challenge. Guys, I'm super excited to introduce you to this evening's guest, right? Now, this young man, we often talk about the dual dream. I believe that this young man that you are about to hear from is living proof that you can live the dual dream. It does not matter your age or your stage. He's an observer, he's a professional football player, and he's a student accommodation investor. Now, I've had the honor to actually coach him when he was a youth player at Ajax, and then later on, I mentored him when he joined Cape Town City. Yeah. So, guys, let's have a conversation with Luyolo Slatsha. Let's go. Yeah. Lolo, how are you?
I'm very well, Coach. Thank you for having me today.
Good, good. Yeah. How's the season going? Yeah, let's start there because everybody knows you as a pro football player. So let's get the football talk out the way so we can get into the juice. Yeah.
The how I would summarize my season is basically it's a season of resilience and also just overcoming. Obviously, making the transition is not as easy as it is. It's like moving from a slow lane to a fast lane. So it takes a bit of adjusting, a bit of getting used to everything. So yeah, as I said, it's about resilience. So I'll just try to be the best that I could be each and every single day. And then once I got that opportunity, then I had to grab it with both hands.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice one. Hey guys, I'm excited because as soon as he starts talking, you just hear like wisdom coming from him. Slow lane, fast lane. You gotta slow down a bit, Lolo. If you're gonna drop bombs, you gotta dive into it. And this is why I'm super excited to have you here. So just walk us through your upbringing and how you believe that has helped shape your position as a businessman and also a football player.
I think the best way that I can describe my upbringing, coach, is I'm fortunate enough to come from a stable, family dynamic. So my mom is there, my dad is there. Yeah, they conservative in the sense that it's not loud, it's not there. We don't have everything, but we can get by. So I come from very humble beginnings. I was born and bred here in Cape Town, but originally my roots are from the Eastern Cape in King Williamstown. So in the beginning of my upbringing, like maybe the first 4 or 5 years of that foundation phase, I actually was sent to the Eastern Cape because obviously my parents just needed to build a structure that is going to be convenient and conducive for me to be there. So for that first 5 years, I was in the Eastern Cape. Then I came here when I was going to start primary school. So what had happened to me was I couldn't speak English when I got here.
Serious?
Yeah, I couldn't speak English at all when I
Serious?
arrived to Cape Town.
You sound like you were born speaking English.
Yeah, because I have a point to prove now. Yeah, so I couldn't speak English at all.
Yeah.
That was my challenge. So
Yeah.
I grew up, trying to just overcome challenges, basically. So I think my whole upbringing has been about challenges. And then one thing that I've observed in my upbringing was that I emulate what my dad was doing. So my dad is very conservative. He was an auditor, and he was a person who used to he understood and he taught me the power of listening. So for him, like I would just see like maybe for a week when I get back home, yo, Coach Nathan was shouting at me today, blah 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 blah. So
Was I?
no, you weren't, but I'm just
Okay.
making an example.
Just
So
checking.
he would like you would listen to me, and I'm thinking, when is he ever speaking? But I feel like he's saying a lot just by listening to me. So when I grew up, he told me you must value the power of listening. So I that's basically my upbringing. And then also a key factor that he taught me in grade four, I won't forget. I went home and he was playing with chess pieces. So I was very curious as to what this is and why he's sitting down, spending his time here. So then he taught me chess at grade four.
Grade 4.
Yeah, in grade four.
How old were you?
I think that's 8 or 10, between 8 or 10.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Grade 4, 8 years of age, 10 years of age, your father's busy teaching you life principles
yeah,
around a chess game.
yeah. But he
Powerful,
actually
man.
he actually taught me how to play chess at that age.
Yeah.
So what that did is it made me see things in a different way. So I was always curious because chess is about like thinking 2 steps ahead and you're always calculating and you're always trying to see what is going to happen next. So as I said, my dad was an auditor. He's very conservative. He's an analyst, deals with numbers. So yeah, who I am is because of who he was. So yeah, I think I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, that's my upbringing in a nutshell, coach.
Nice, Lolo, man. That's awesome. Eh? I met your dad when you were at Ajax, and exactly what you said. He was a powerful man in his silence. He wouldn't say much, but as soon as he spoke, you knew there was a value coming from him, and I can see that you've learned a lot from him. And speaking about the values, yeah.
Discover your next level. Break free from your mental blocks in football by joining our exclusive Football Mindset Mastery online bootcamp, 6th of May to 10th of May, 2024. It's for footballers aged 14 and up. Get ready to discover, develop, and deploy mindset tools that have seen our professional footballer players 5x their value on the football field. Simply WhatsApp us today to register. See you at the bootcamp.
What values do you believe guide you now as a businessman, but also as a football player?
I think what he also did was he put me in obviously church very early. So I have Christian values and beliefs. So when I was at an age where I could make my own decisions, whether I stay in the church or I don't, it was entirely up to me. So what I choose to do is I want to treat other people how I would be treated. But unfortunately, sometimes in the business aspect, you want to get the most value for the less price. So I try not to undervalue or undercut people in a way that is not dignified. You know what I'm saying? So I try and use those Christian values. Just try to do to others what I would want to be done to myself. But obviously now it's not entirely just Christian. It's just good morals, being a good human being to other people, without any, following any sort of fiction or anything like that. Just being open, any religion, any race, any type of background, you want to treat that person the way that you would want to be treated. So it's simple like that, coach.
Oh, nice. So if I can surmise what you just said, that you love to serve value through what you are doing as a businessman, and in serving value to others through being a businessman, through being a footballer, you believe that value will get returned to you, double, triple the amount, even more. Is that correct?
So yes, coach, 100%. So basically, if you don't have a seat at the table, I believe that you must serve water just to get into the room. So if you
You say it again. If you don't have a seat at the table,
yes,
you must be prepared to serve
serve
water.
water just to get inside the room.
Yeah.
But obviously, your end goal is to have a seat at the table. But for now, you're not in a position to sit at the table, for example. So it's all about providing value to the people that obviously will return that value to you
Yeah.
when it's mutually it's at the same amount.
Yes.
So for example, if I can help you, you can help me, and we both benefit. But for now, I can't help you. So what I need to do is I need to help you. So that's what my thinking is from a business perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's powerful, because at the end of the day, it's all in serving. It's all serving. It's just the different forms of it, right? You might have a currency that you have got hard currency, cash. Maybe that is your means to serve value right now, or you might have a skill set right now. So as a football player, you have a skill set right now which you serve the football industry with, and for that you get paid. Yes, that's the value that you serve. So I like that thought. Yeah, and I admire that. Right. So talking about your football, how is your football helping you grow in life? Because we obviously spoke about the dual dream now, right? And to just give you guys that view again, the dual dream is playing football while you are growing as a person. So that can be having a business, that can be a study, that can be any vocation outside of playing football that you desire towards growing. That is the dual dream, not plan A or plan B. Because plan A, plan B, speaks of hierarchy. Something comes first, something comes second. Dual dream is having a coexisting plan. The one feeds the other. So what you are doing right now, I believe, is having a dual dream where the one serves the other. So how is football helping you grow in that aspect? Hey, Nathan here. So moms, dads, and families of sportsmen, football players, do you want to help your son or daughter enjoy their career in their sport, in their football? The next level challenge for parents is designed for you to get the most out of yourself, growing, learning, improving your understanding of this game, and more importantly, of your child's journey. To get started, simply click on the link below in the description and let's get you growing towards your next level. Because the more you know, the more you can help your kids grow. Okay, and now enjoy the rest of the video and have an awesome day further. Cheers, guys.
I think, Coach, the most important thing is that the main thing must always remain the main thing, and the main thing is the football. So football is number one, and it takes no precedence before anything else because that's my passion, that's my calling, that's something that makes extreme sense to me. So the business aspect only developed when I was exposed to certain information at a later stage in my life. So how has football helped my life? It's helped my life in terms of in the very beginning when I was still just a boy, still just a child. I would wake up in the morning when the sun is rising, go to the street with my ball up until the sun sets. So I'd be dealing with lots of different people, grown men, people my age. And what brought us together was a soccer ball. I didn't get robbed. I didn't get. It seems just like football is something that it melts the heart of people. So any ill intentions or any evil doings, that soccer ball, it just eliminates all of that because you deal with people who wanted to play football. So now they obviously maybe didn't get the opportunity to get to the highest level, but just for them to interact with a football, it makes them return to their childhood. So football for me, it's helped me understand life, completely because I never looked at anybody else and think, this guy maybe obviously there's classism and things like that, but I've played football in both ends of the town. So I played in the private schools, I played in the underdeveloped school, I played in the streets. So football for me has taught me life and how to interact with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're playing on the biggest stage in South Africa, which is the PSL. Right? So you can add that to your list as well. So how is that helping you now? Because that's a different view now, right? Because from having played football from a very young age, it's a passion, it's a love. Now it's a job. How has that impacted you in terms of your growth and the life?
Yeah. So what I've observed, what has happened, Coach, is that I've gained social capital. So social capital is because that you're in the public domain. People would want to associate themselves with you. So and that's any kind of people. I mean, you just have to filter what kind of person you are. So if you want to be a guy who's enjoying your life, partying, then you have complete access to it. I can go to any establishment, nightclub or anything like that, and walk in there. But that's not obviously my character. But what I'm trying to bring is that people want to associate themselves with you, so that you can leverage for your benefit. And for me, in terms of business, I've seen that it's helping me, a bit because let's say I have a deal and I need an investor, and that investor might happen to be the son. His son might be someone who is a big fan of me.
Yes.
So and that's things that are actually that I've picked up. So those
It's
are
powerful, right?
yeah.
Powerful.
And it all starts, with football. So now, obviously, as I said, the social capital, that's the value that you have based on your network. So if you can filter in the kind of people that want to associate themselves with you, then you can really build something aside from the football, as I said.
100%, 100%. So from a very young age, you've had good values instilled in you. And you've had this gift of football. But due to the fact that you've had these good values instilled, right, you have the capability and the awareness to actually leverage your football in a positive way. Now we know in South Africa there's many footballers that actually leverage the social capital, which you just spoke about, in a negative sense, isn't it? This is why this platform has been formed, guys. Because South Africa is probably not only South Africa, but probably other parts of the world. They use football social capital in a negative sense. This is a perfect example of how you can actually leverage your football in a positive sense. Now, I don't know if you guys picked up. That's why I said when you begin to dive deeper and share this goal, you need to slow down so people, I can tell you, I'm super amped to hear these things come from a 21-year-old. Because these are things which we always speak about, but we actually don't get to see how it looks, feels, sounds. Can it be that? Yeah, guys, we have a young 21-year-old speaking, by the way, of the fact when he was a young. And I'm like, how old now? And that is so powerful because the one thing we got to learn in South Africa is that age is only a number. You cannot associate someone's IQ with their age. You cannot associate his ability, that God has given him, with his age and say, no, he's too young. He can't be, businessman. No, he's a businessman because he has a vision. He has value being placed on his own life that he needs to tap into. Not when he's old, which we've been taught, which I've been taught. When you get to an older age, now you got to focus on the thing because you are adult. No, there's a reason why a seed gets planted into you at a very young age. Okay, so good. Sorry, Lolo, I can go off on a tangent, but let's get back to the conversation. So flip that around. How is business helping you in your football? Because you said earlier on that football is your main, which I get. You are young, so you must maximize this football journey as much as you can, so you can leverage that when you are done. Not when you're done. You see, I still have that old school thinking when you are done. No, now. So how is your business helping you in your game?
I think, Coach, at this point, it hasn't helped me that much. But I think maybe once I've established a clean career, like my career has been successful, and I can use that to benefit my football. Then, but now, to be completely honest with you, there's no value that my business has on my football. And what I like to do is I like to keep them, very separate. I don't like to mix them in terms of like talking too much teammates and things like. I like to keep it separate roles just so that there's no confusion. And also in terms of credibility, when you're discussing maybe a proposal with someone, and they know that, listen, you're a footballer, and the kind of connotation that people have with football is not so good. So I think at what I like to do is I like to separate them very far apart, not to intertwine them. Yeah.
So that's a value that you applying, right? Yes? No? Yeah. So I encourage you to apply that, which you are doing. Identify that. So identify with the fact that your business has taught you to keep business and to focus on your football and time focus on football. Yes? Yeah. So it actually has shown you how to separate those two things. Now why that's so powerful is, I'll give you an example, Lolo. When I was a young player, right, just before I turned pro, excuse me, I was told you have to choose. You have to choose between football and studying. Yeah, you have to choose between football and studying. So my thought was, and here's it, yeah, I got told that because when you do one, you cannot focus on the other. And when you do the other, you cannot focus. You must choose one thing, and you must eat, sleep, and drink. Either studies or business or being a football player. Well, fast forward to was it in 2024, and we are sitting having a conversation with a businessman who is a 21-year-old football player. Fast forward to 2024, we have more multimillionaires under the age of 30 than we have over the age of 50. And now I know I am making some of you uncomfortable, but this is exactly the kind of conversations that we need to talk about and highlight. So the value that you've added to your football already, you may not feel right now, but you've just shared a value of how you've already applied a value of when it's time to play my game, I'm 100% switched on there, but I know I have a business that's there, right? So it's given you that thought already. Yeah, good. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I also think, Coach, the biggest thing that's helped me to have the confidence to want to take the risk is because, number one, I've got the unconditional support, from my parents. So when I said I wanted to, because I was very active, I did athletics, football, cricket, rugby, everything I did growing up. So they would just come, they would be present. So when I was getting exposed to the information that was leading to the business side of life, I also got that same support. So what I think what was important is just the support. If there's somebody there that's supporting you and saying you can keep on going, although it seems scary and it seems difficult, but just keep on going. That support is important. And also when you mention that people say that you must choose one, I think it's important for you yourself to choose for yourself. You can't let somebody tell you either to choose one, because you yourself must be able to choose what you do, and you must go you must go through it obviously with all your heart and mind. But I think what's extremely important for my journey is the support that I got, the unconditional support, the unrealistic support, because the chances of making it as a footballer are very slim. The chances of making it as a young, business person in the real estate space is extremely unheard of. So that support that I received, going to viewings, that stuff, it really kept me going up until there was a light, because there was lots of rejections in terms of deals not going through, things not happening, and but they still the support is there. So I think for parents or for guardians or people that are at a stage where they guiding the next generation, what I saw from my parents is the support, and that support can do a lot of things. Because if the me as the child, I had the backing of my parents, then I wanted to I believed in myself, and there was no restriction in terms of this is what you must do. So yeah, that support is important, the unconditional support.
Good. I love that. Speaking to parents, clubs, coaches, it's their job, it's our job as guardians to keep that fire burning, and to actually not keep the fire burning, to actually add more wood to that fire, so the fire burns brighter. It's not your job to redirect that fire. And so you're talking about you've had the unwavering support of your family, which in actual fact is fuel to the fire, right?
Yeah.
That's why you can face this, journey as a football player and as a businessman, because that seed was planted in you to be a businessman and to be a football player, and the support of your parents lit that seed into a fire. So it's our job as the supporting people, whether you an uncle, a coach, a brother, a sister, to throw wood on that fire, not wet wood, dry wood that can stoke the fire to keep on burning. Why? Because the world is filled with people that actually want to put the fire out, isn't it? Yeah. In your football and in your business. Yeah. Good. Lolo. So you sound like you have read quite a bit of books, or I'm just giving my view, like, because what you're sharing for such a young age, so powerful. So what resources have you found as helped you through this journey?
So what flipped the switch on me, coach, was towards the end of my high school. I think about grade 11, grade 12. There was a book that I picked up called Why the Rich Are Getting Richer.
Why the rich are getting richer?
Why the Rich Are Getting Richer by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I sat through and just maybe flipped through the first 15 pages of that book, the amount of you know concepts that were realistic to life that I picked up were very it was very like motivating to want to go out and do things. But I only ever picked up a book towards the end of my schooling career, because the books that were at my disposal weren't books that were realistic to my surroundings. Like I can't see
Then at that
films.
point, let me sorry to come in there, because I've also experienced. So because I come from a household, my dad also was a school head. I got given books as gifts. I didn't know I wanted to read. I wanted to play football. But here's the key, Lolo, which you said. Books are meant for you at a certain stage in your life. It doesn't mean that you don't have to go and acquire them. At the right part, the book is the wood to that fire. That's why you said that towards the end of your high school, because you had reached a point where that book that you bought specifically was the right firewood for that seed inside of you. That's why books I've had for 5 years, guys, 10 years. For 9 years, I haven't read the book. The book it was a completely foreign concept to me. And then next year, all of a sudden, pick up, I'm like, where has this book been? Haven't you all experienced that? I'm sure you just sharing it now, where you had a book on your bookshelf or under your bed, and just lying there, and it makes no sense to you. But all of a sudden, because you are growing through life, because that seed inside of you has now found something, a match, those words begin to jump at you. Like you said, you read the book, as you said, the first 15 pages, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, so you can go on.
Yeah, no, as I was saying, coach, like there was no, like I never had the desire to read books, sit down and read, because I'm a sports person, very active, football, athletics, everything. So I really didn't like reading books. But obviously towards that time where you must make a decision what's happening with your life, I picked up that book, and then it highlighted an alternative, because what it says is that we taught this one way in terms of go to school, get a job up until you're 65, then you can retire to get that freedom. So what it highlighted is an alternative to reach that freedom through concepts that are realistic. So they speak about assets, liabilities, and expenses, and how you can use these instruments to get to that freedom without having to go through that the system that most people are taught, in terms of you must go to school, you must go to varsity, then you must get a job, and then you must have like that long career and then retire. And
Which, sorry, that is not a system of education. That is a system of programming. And this is why, and I say this, guys, unashamedly, we have been programmed by the system, not educated, because this is an educated young man. because he's made use in his very short time on this earth. Some of us, for myself, I've come to the realization, whether in football, whether in life, are you educated or have you been programmed? Now that's harsh because it forces each of us to actually look at ourselves. Yes, and I've come to the answer like you've said. Schooling, for most part, life for most part for us, we get funneled into a certain way. That is called programming. Yes, no, okay. So you want to go on?
Yes, yes, coach. But I don't want to paint a very negative picture of school because there is components that I use like
Yes.
every day, in terms of the stuff that you learn in English class, like the orals and things like that. How to articulate your ideas.
Yeah.
That stuff is very important. Also,
Yeah.
your accounting is also business. But in terms of how you can go through life as a whole, I don't think it's enough in terms of just school alone. Yeah. So
100%.
I did pick up, that book, Why the Rich Are Getting Richer. Yeah, that's what flipped the switch, and then from there I've been self-educating in terms of finding information that's relevant to my course that will help me. So even short courses and things like that. So I did, do an extensive amount of research in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I've learned what I've learned, but now I need to put it into practice. So I haven't been reading a lot of books because I've just been trying to make things happen from the knowledge that I picked up.
Yeah. Nice. You said something so powerful. I always listen to the small details. It's a habit of mine. It's become a good habit. You said that what you are currently doing or your thought process is always learning, relevant to your course, which is another way of saying relevant to your purpose. Yeah, and that's important to understand because each of us have a purpose. So young football players, each of you have a purpose. Yeah, and how you can discover that purpose, that cause, is figure out what you are passionate about. Number one, right? And I think in our last session, when for those that was here, I had it up on the board how you can discover your creative purpose. Figure out what you are passionate about, and then also begin to understand what you are proficient at. What is your skill set? What are you good at? And where those 2 points meet, that is where your purpose is. Yeah. Now, even if you're a young player, you can still discover that purpose for this time in your life. You just need to know how to find out what you are passionate about, then think about what you are good at this point in time. Where those 2 points meet, that's where you will have purpose, and then go out and seek resources that speak into that and not into what you're doing, because your purpose is your purpose, my purpose is my purpose. I can go and read what you've advised, and if our purpose maybe aligns in that sense with investing, and then yes, it applies. Yeah, but know that what you are doing serves into your purpose as a footballer and as a person. Yeah, Lolo. So lastly, Lolo, to young footballers that hear what you have shared, yeah, hear that you are a pro footballer and you a businessman. Any advice to them?
I would say, coach, I can only give my observation, not the advice, because obviously I'm also in the journey. So what I've observed is that it's not about like where you are, but it's about what you're doing where you are. So you can be, I just want to make an example. You can be at the worst school with the least resources, but 1 plus 1 still equals 2. You can be at a private school, 1 plus 1 will still equal 2. So it's not about where you are, but it's about what you're doing where you are. So for all the footballers that are out there, even if you at a still undiscovered.
Sorry, I will pause you. Speak to the watch cameraman because the boys need to hear this, right? Moms and dads and our need to hear this. So you can go ahead, you can speak to that 14, 15, 16-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. For if I was speaking to my younger self, the observation of what I've seen up until I've gotten to the point where I've always wanted to be is that it's not about where you are at this present moment, but it's about what you're doing where you are. So you could be playing for an LFA team, or you could be playing at an academy, but that doesn't determine where you will eventually end up. You could be at that academy, and if you don't use those resources, those opportunities to the best of your ability, it can turn into something that it doesn't make where you are now make sense. So also, if you're playing at a level where you know that you have higher ambitions, it's not about where you are right now, but it's about what you're doing where you are. How much extra work are you doing? How disciplined are you? What sacrifices are you making? And you must be obsessed, with your dream and your passion. I think, yeah, that's all I can say for now.
Good. Lolo, thank you, my man. Yo, guys, I hope you've been blessed by this. I, for myself, I've learned a load of stuff. I wish I was a young footballer. I'm going to apply all of that now. So if you are a young footballer, guys, and you haven't turned professional yet, take in what you just heard. Apply. Yeah, apply for where you're finding yourself right now. Yeah, and you will surprise yourself. Okay, guys. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you one day on this shoot. Cheers, guys.